It's the 10th of April and I am 29 weeks pregnant today, so welcome to another pregnancy update video. I'll link the playlist up here if you want to check out the others before you watch this one. So in my 28th week, the main thing was that I have had COVID. So I tested positive on Monday morning when I got to school, so obviously had to come straight home. And I've spent the week in isolation away from even Jonathan. Like, he's still in the house, but we totally shut me off from him. He's like been bringing me food all week. Today is day 7, which is why we've got the blinds and the door open again. I did do a video on my vlog channel with more details, so I'll link that in the description box if you want to check that one out. I was really worried about getting COVID while pregnant because I was worried that something would happen to the baby. I've heard it increases the chance of preterm labour, which it still might. Hopefully it won't. I was glad anyway to have gotten this far through the pregnancy without getting COVID, because at this point the baby is viable. If I were to give birth early, like from now on, the baby would be okay. Sorry, I just got a phone call. Anyway, I can't really remember what I was saying. I think we finished talking about COVID. It's been fine anyway. The midwife just basically, and the doctor, they were all calling me, told me to just make sure baby was moving the same as normal, which they have been. As far as things that I can tell, it seems to be okay, but I do have a scan coming up in a week and a half, I think, so it'll be good to check that, that they're still growing like they should be. Oh, speaking of movement, there has been so much movement this week, probably just because I'm at home doing nothing, that I've noticed it more, but the movements are definitely stronger, and there's just more of them. Nothing's been painful yet, although my pregnancy apps this morning said that my uterus is all the way up to right under my ribs now, so I think if it's going to get painful, it's going to start around now, like being kicked in the ribs. So far it's been okay though. I've been having leg cramps again. I didn't have them for a couple of weeks. I have had them in the past though, but yeah, I had like on 3 of the mornings in the last week I've had leg cramps. They haven't been as bad as that very first one though, because they haven't like lasted days like that one did, like the pain from them. But I think the reason I'm getting them again is probably because I'm not doing a lot of moving around. Like, obviously I was trying to recover, so I wasn't doing any exercise. I wasn't going up and down the stairs like I normally would. So it's probably just more lack of use that's caused them. I have at this point put on 10 kilograms. Sometimes on my tummy I can see like which side the baby's hanging out on. Like sometimes my tummy will be very much poking out more on one side than the other, which is quite fun. And I can feel when they're like poking an elbow out or something. Like, I don't know that it's an elbow, but rather than movement in particular, sometimes there will just be a hard spot on my belly where you can feel, or I can feel, that they're pushing something into me from the inside, and it'll just hang out, like it'll be like a knee or a foot, I don't know what it is, but you can just feel it there, and I'll give it a little poke. And the other thing that I've had, a new symptom that I've noticed this week, which is not my favorite, but it's also not painful or a problem or anything, but I have got numbness under my bust on one side, and I've looked it up. Apparently it's normal, apparently it's fine. It's just caused by the skin stretching so much, but it's like, yeah, right at the top of where my belly now goes up to, which is right under my bust. And sometimes it's a little tingly and I'll like rub it and then I can't feel it properly like normal. So it's, yeah, it's not like completely numb. Like, I think if someone else touched it, I would still feel it, but it's definitely not got the sensation that it's supposed to have. So that's been a little disconcerting. It's like right where my bra finishes, and I keep thinking that my bra is too tight because of the weird feeling that I get. But my bra is not too tight. My bra is very comfortable, very stretchy. So yeah, and it's only on one side. It's very strange. and I will talk to my midwife about it when I see her next in a couple of weeks, but according to the internet it's normal and it's fine. But it is just something that I haven't heard anyone talk about, and I've watched a lot of like pregnancy videos, and yeah, that's one that I've never come across. But yeah, that's what's happened in the last week. I will give you a little bump update before I go, because I feel like it is looking bigger. Sorry, the lighting's not fantastic. There is my 29-week bump. It's the 16th of April and I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I can't believe I only have 10 more weeks-ish left to go. So for 29 weeks, I have had some symptoms that have made it quite difficult to sleep at night. Heartburn and acid reflux. I've had a couple of the nights, and I literally cannot stay lying down because I can feel everything like trying to come back up. I have to sit up and wait for it to go back down again. So on a couple of the nights that has made it very difficult to get to sleep. And on all of the other nights I have had, I think last week I talked about the numb spot under my bust on one side. It's not numb anymore, it is painful. It feels like a burning sensation, and there's absolutely nothing on my skin. It's a skin problem, it's not like the rib underneath or anything. My skin is sore, there is no mark on it at all. I would expect it to be like red or a rash or something, but you literally cannot see anything. It's completely invisible, looks totally normal. When I lie down and I'm trying to go to sleep, it is the most painful, like compared to any other time of day. I can feel it pretty much all day, every day now. It is irritating and annoying 24/7, but at nighttime is the worst. And it really does keep me awake for a very long time every night when I'm trying to get to sleep. So that is something that I'm going to be talking to my midwife about when I see her in a few days. And the only other new thing that I've noticed is that I am more gassy, which I know is a very common pregnancy thing, and this one's not really annoying me that much, but I definitely am more gassy than normal. And finding it harder to control as well, so which has been a little embarrassing a couple of times. But yeah, that's been week 29 for me, and now I'm at week 30. School holidays have just started, so I'm really looking forward to a couple of weeks of being a bit more relaxed. I think this will be really nice. I'm gonna try and do some really light workouts while I'm not at work, just to keep my activity level up as much as I can, but I'm definitely not pushing myself and doing anything crazy or intense. But yeah, that is me for 30 weeks. It's a couple days later. I just got back from my 30-week scan. It was absolutely fine. Obviously I wasn't worried, but because I've had COVID, it was good to like have a scan and check that everything is okay. So baby was measuring absolutely fine. She was measuring the thigh bone and she was like, oh, it's a tall baby, which I don't know where they get that from, because it's certainly not me. I guess it's from Jonathan's side of the family. But yeah, everything was looking good. I don't know if that'll be my last scan. I may have one more because I've had COVID. I think my midwife mentioned something about 36 weeks, so I may have one more scan to look forward to. Oh, baby was head down, which I knew because every time I felt hiccups recently, it's been really low down, so I knew they were going to be head down. Sure enough, they are. It's the 24th of April and I am 31 weeks pregnant today, and I'm so excited because it's our baby shower this afternoon. I'm so looking forward to it. We're just having it at home. We're having about 15 people, just close family and friends coming around. I've made some cupcakes, I've made some quiches, I've made some jelly. We've got some little activities set up and I'm so excited. But I'll talk more about that in next week's update because it hasn't actually happened yet. So for 30 weeks, I have had quite a busy week actually, and quite a lot of symptoms. So first of all, I thought I'd mention the fact that I have been feeling really hot, and I think this has been going on for quite a while, but it's been like noticeable this week. Like Jonathan's trying to put blankets on me at nighttime and I'm like, get them off, and he's like, but it's cold. And I'm like, I'm not cold, I'm really hot. Baby has had hiccups most days. I think I've talked about hiccups once before and I wasn't sure if that's what it was or not, but I can definitely tell when they have hiccups now. And usually they get them at night when I am just getting into bed. I mentioned earlier in the week as well, didn't I, that we had a growth scan and baby is head down, which I already knew because when I feel the hiccups, I feel them low down. So also from the growth scan, did I talk about this already? They said that it's a tall baby because they measured the thigh bone and it was a little long, so that means it's a tall baby. But aside from that, all the growth measurements were like perfectly average and exactly where they should be. I've done a little bit of pregnancy yoga this week, a couple of times, just, you know, giving it a go. There's a lot that's uncomfortable to do these days, but I'm just doing my best. I can't do my own shoes up anymore, so it's either slip-ons or I've got to ask for Jonathan's help. The bump feels really heavy sometimes when I lie on my side. Like if I don't use my pregnancy pillow to support it properly, it feels really heavy and quite uncomfortable, like it's dragging me down on one side. And also some of the kicks are starting to hurt. It's usually only a couple in a day that actually hurt, but some of them definitely, I'm like, oh, I could have done without that one. I also saw my midwife this week, a couple days after my scan, and it's the first time I've seen her in like 6 weeks, so she had a lot to kind of talk to me about. Like I hadn't seen her since my gestational diabetes test, so finally got the results of that, which said I do not have gestational diabetes, which is awesome, but my iron was on the low side of normal, which is fine, but she's still prescribed me some iron tablets to take each day, so I'm taking those now. She said I had perfect blood pressure, and I asked her about the pain under my bust, the skin pain, and she said it's probably just baby's pinched a nerve. So unfortunately there's nothing she could do to help, but it doesn't sound like it's anything worrying. It's just going to be frustrating for me. In the evenings, my back clicks like every time I take a step. It's really annoying, but it's only in the evenings, or it seems to be like later in the day anyway. I am also at this point leaking colostrum every single day, so it's not like a rare occurrence anymore. It's just like, yeah, it's gonna happen every day now. And the last thing that happened is a little bit gross, a little bit TMI, but I mean, you're here for this video, so I assume you're prepared for it. I have started losing bits of my mucus plug, which is kind of really gross, but also really common, and it's not a problem. Like I've not lost the whole thing, it's just that you can lose bits of it and then it kind of like regenerates. So yeah, a little bit gross, not really enjoying that, but it's just one of those things that happens. So yeah, there's been a lot going on in the last week, a lot of symptoms, and not all of them particularly pleasant, but I think we're just at that point of the pregnancy now where it's to be expected. Everyone says third trimester is hard, and it is, and I'm sure it's just gonna get harder, but I'm still in good spirits, mostly. Anyway, I will catch you next week for one more update before I end this video. It's the 1st of May and I am 32 weeks pregnant, and I thought for today's update I'd come and sit in the nursery because stuff has actually happened in here. So Jonathan and his dad set up the cot during the week while I was out, which was very exciting. The original plan was not to set it up in here at all because they're not going to be in this room. The cot is actually going to be out in our lounge. Sorry, it's focused on the cot now. The cot is going to be out in the lounge, and I don't think we're going to be able to fit it through the door while it's actually made, so we're going to have to take it apart and rebuild it in the lounge, which is why we didn't initially bother building it in here to begin with. But they just got really excited one day and wanted to build it, and I was like, yeah, sure, go for it. We also had our baby shower, which I'll talk about in a second, but I do want to just mention that one of the things that we got is this Lego thing on the wall, which we had on our registry. We just thought it was so cool. That's what you can see behind me. It's all very exciting. Anyway, let me go ahead and talk you through our week 31. So starting with the baby shower, because that was on exactly 31 weeks. So last time I updated you, that was in the morning before the baby shower. We had the baby shower at home. We made a bunch of food. The people that came, some of them brought food as well. So I made cupcakes with like green and purple icing. I made some little mini quiches. Jonathan's mum made savory muffins. Just really easy like finger food. The food was perfect. There was the perfect amount of food. We did a few activities. So one of the activities was drawing on bibs. So we got these blank white and grey bibs. Actually, I can show you some of the designs. So we had like colourful fabric markers, so people were able to like draw or write or colour. Cute little feet. Yeah, so those are really lovely. Stop focusing on the crib. I might have to actually point you away from the crib. Hang on, let me come and sit here and then it will hopefully focus on me. Sorry about the lighting, it's just really late at night. I've only just gotten around to filming this. But yeah, one of the other activities we did was like a guess the bump size. So we had the string out and everyone kind of cut the string to how big they thought my tummy was. Totally not something I would ever organise for somebody else's shower if I were in charge of that, but because it was my own, I knew that I was happy with that kind of activity. So yeah, that was fun. Most people's guesses were way too big, like insanely too big. It was really funny. And we also got everyone to send us a picture of themselves as a baby, and we had them playing up on the TV so we could guess who everyone was. So the activities were a lot of fun. We made sure we got photos with everyone as well, so it was just really, really lovely. We did also get given a whole bunch of stuff, mostly from our registry. So I think in a video recently I showed you what we had and it was not a lot, but we have a lot more now that we've had the shower, and now we can basically start buying everything that's left on our registry. Now that we know like what we've been given, we can just start checking things off, which is exciting. Also in the last week, so I've had really bad baby brain. Like I talked about having it a little bit here and there in the past, but it's been really bad this week. What was the first thing? Oh, the night of the baby shower, one of the things I was given was a breast pump, and I was trying to like read the instructions to figure out how to put it together and how to use it and stuff, and I could not understand the instructions at all. Like not at all. It was like it was in another language. And also the instructions for how to put this thing up on the wall, I was trying to read those that night as well, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense at all. And Jonathan read it and he was like, this makes perfect sense. And I was like, I can't comprehend anything. And then the next day, my pregnancy pillow, one of the like leg things was twisted, and I was sitting on the bed and I could see the seam going around at a weird angle, and I was looking at it and I was like, we just made the bed yesterday. What the heck did we do so wrong to make the seam completely twist around? Like, what did we do? And Jonathan literally came and turned the leg over and it was fine again, and I was like, oh my god. I didn't realize the whole leg was twisted. I thought we'd literally like put the pillowcase on wrong, but like that's the extent of how bad my baby brain has been. I didn't even realize my pillow was just twisted. I've also, I know I talked about having like a little bit of colostrum leaking, but I had 2 really big leaks this week. So the first one was early in the week, I think, and I was literally just lying in bed and then rolled over, and Jonathan was like, why is this all wet? And we looked, the sheets were just covered in liquid. I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're starting that now. Again, like I thought that would kind of happen. I know it can happen anytime. I didn't expect it to happen quite so soon. And then it happened one more time during the week as well. So I did buy myself some reusable breast pads, which at this stage I don't feel like I need to wear them every day. But then again, it's like, what happens if I have a big leak while I'm out? Because they've both been at home so far. We've been on school holidays, so I've been at home and it's been fine. But like, maybe I do need to start wearing them, because if it happens while I'm out at school, it's going to be a very embarrassing day. I guess I've already talked about the fact that we've started the nursery setup. You've seen the cot and the thing on the wall, but we've also got this is Jonathan's set of drawers from when he was a kid, so his mum brought this over for us to use. So we've put a few things in there. We've put a bunch of the gifts we were given at the baby shower, so there's some like hooded towels and some reusable nappies and stuff like that is in there. And Jonathan's parents also made us actually, let me stand up and show you this properly. They made us this Winnie the Pooh blind for our window, which is so cool. His dad bought us a lampshade that has like elephants and lions and giraffes and zebras and stuff on it. I probably can't show it to you because the light will be too bright and you won't be able to see it, but it's very cute. I will show it to you another time. But yeah, so we definitely started the nursery setup. His mum also made us a blanket using a Winnie the Pooh material as well. I actually went shopping with her to like look for the materials for the blanket. So I chose that one. We thought, like, since we got Winnie the Pooh on the blinds up there, it might be kind of nice to have a couple of things that match. But the one that I chose was a bit more yellow, then that one's a little bit kind of less warm. So I chose one with a bit more yellow in it, and then we went with a brighter yellow border around the edges. So she made that up during the week as well. It is so cute. I can't wait to actually, like, I need to wash all of the sheets and blankets and stuff before we actually make the bed properly, but I can't wait to make the cot and have like all the blankets and everything kind of looking how it's meant to be. Speaking of blankets, I didn't realize you were actually allowed to use blankets. I thought you needed like literally nothing in the cot, like swaddle the baby, put them in on their own, so like all of the warmth comes from what they're wearing. But apparently you can use blankets and sheets, they just have to be really well tucked underneath so they can't like come loose and move around or anything. So yeah, we have sheets, we have blankets. And another thing that I learned yesterday, because we've had our antenatal course the last couple of weekends, so we had the second day of the course yesterday, and apparently you're not recommended to swaddle babies anymore because it can increase their risk of sudden unexplained infant death. It used to be called SIDS, it's called SUDI now, but yeah, swaddling can increase their risk of that, and also make it harder for them to like tell you they're hungry and self-soothe and things like that. So you're actually not recommended to swaddle. And I was like, what? Because that was our plan. I was like, what are you supposed to do with them instead? But we do have some sleep sacks. Yeah, so I guess the plans change. Thank goodness for courses, because I would not have known. Speaking of that course, actually, the first session that we did last weekend was all about like pregnancy and kind of a little bit about the birth itself. And we knew like 95% of the stuff because I'm in all of these forums about, you know, for people that are pregnant, and I've done so much research over the last few years and stuff. Yesterday's one was about the first few weeks after birth, so like breastfeeding and caring for the baby and, you know, all those like kind of, you know, how to bath a baby, how to change a nappy, that kind of stuff. And I learnt a lot yesterday. Like, I'm worried I'm going to forget it all. I wrote it all down. I do have notes, but there was a lot of stuff that I did not know, like the thing about not swaddling your baby, and also like how to de-latch a baby safely. That's not even something that I had considered that I would need to know how to do. Like, it had never even crossed my mind. So that is the exact kind of thing that I wanted to get out of the course. She asked us at the start what we were hoping to learn, and I was like, I'm hoping to learn all the things that I wouldn't know to ask. Because like, if I think to ask it, then I can just type it into Google. But something like how to de-latch a baby safely has never crossed my mind. So I'm really glad that like that's the kind of thing I needed from the course. All the things that I wouldn't think of because I've never been in this position. So anyway, yeah, yesterday's course was really good. That was it. There were just the 2 sessions for that particular one that we were doing. We did the free one through the hospital, but there is also a more in-depth breastfeeding one that we can do that I'll probably sign us up for, and there's also a Plunkett Your New Baby course as well, which we're thinking about. What else? Oh, I've written in my notes, I went shopping with Jonathan's mum, which I know I already told you, but like, we were out there looking for materials so she could make the blankets, but, and this is her first grandchild, so I'm not surprised, but she bought so much stuff for the baby on that trip that we were not planning on buying. We were walking through the baby store and like past all the clothes, because of course the clothes are at the front, and she was like, have you got socks? Have you got vests? Have you got this? Have you got that? And just like picking stuff up as we went through the shop. And at the checkout I was like, you really do not have to buy us all this stuff, like I'm happy to pay for all of this, like you were not planning on buying this. And she was just like wanting to buy stuff for us. So I was like, I guess first grandchild, and you know, it's very exciting and all that, so I feel very spoiled right now. And the other thing from this week was that Jonathan and I both went and got the whooping cough vaccine, which is recommended for anyone that's going to be around the baby regularly. So ours are done. We'd like Jonathan's parents to get it as well. We only kind of brought it up with his mum last time we saw her, which was yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So it, you know, his parents haven't done it yet. We haven't even brought it up with his dad yet, but yeah, ours are done, which is the main thing. And then I'm sure his parents will both be happy to get it as well. The thing is though, it's not free. Like, it's free for me because I'm pregnant, but it's not free for anybody else. So Jonathan had to pay like $70, which is fine. But I'm so out of breath and also uncomfortable sitting on the floor. This is a really bad decision. Okay, next update. I'm not going to be in here because this just did not work out. There's no chairs in here. Is this the last update for this video? I think it might be. So yeah, that's 32 weeks. I mean, obviously, like, I don't talk about the same symptoms every week, but like the struggling to breathe, sore back, back clicking, like all that normal stuff that was happening the last few weeks, it doesn't stop just because I don't talk about it. Like, it's still pretty much everything, every symptom is continuing. But yeah, I'll leave this video here. Oh my gosh, I've been talking for so long. I'm really sorry. This is probably a super long update. Yeah, I'll leave this video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!